Once upon a time, in the big city of Lagos, there lived a man named Phillip. He was a banker in one of the prominent banks in Lagos. Phillip was 32 years old. All his friends and family said it was time for him to get married. Phillip was a strong and hardworking man. He was very smart with lots of excellence awards. His friends and family said, "Phillip, you have everything, but you need a wife to complete your life." Soon, Phillip's friends began to recommend women for him. The first woman was Kate. Kate was kind, beautiful, and respectful. She cooked very well and always greeted elders with a smile. But Kate did not go to school. Phillip said, "No, Kate is not educated. I want someone who is smart." The second woman was Blessing. Blessing was cheerful, hardworking, and could sing beautifully. She knew how to take care of a home and help his father on the farm. But Blessing had never left the village to see the city. Phillip said, "No, Blessing is not classic enough. I want a modern wife." The third woman was Lucy. Lucy was quiet and respectful. She made clothes for people and was known for her patience. But Lucy was not the kind of woman Phillip dreamed of. She is not special enough, he thought. Then one day, Phillip went to a wedding in Abuja. There, he met a woman named Precious. Precious was tall, beautiful, and very educated. She wore shiny clothes and spoke with big words. Everyone said she was from the city, and she worked in a big office. Phillip's heart began to race. This is the woman I want. After all, our names match. Phillip and Precious. Beautiful match, he told himself. Phillip approached Precious and told her he liked her. Precious smiled and said, "We shall see." They exchanged phone numbers. After that day, Phillip started calling Precious. He later realized that she even resided in Lagos, that she also went to Abuja for the wedding just the same way he went from Lagos. This made him so glad. Each time they talked, Precious spoke to him about the city, books, and modern life. He was amazed. They started a relationship and they became so close in no time. There were red flags from Precious that Phillip was supposed to look out for, but he was carried away by her beauty and personality. Precious was so rude, aggressive and mannerless, but Phillip ignored all that. 2 months in their relationship, Phillip proposed to Precious and they were set to get married. One day, Precious's friends whispered to Phillip. They said, "Phillip, are you sure about this? Precious is not as sweet as you think. Be careful." One of them said, "I know we are not supposed to tell you, but we could not help it. We have brothers too. We are not asking you not to marry her, but you are too in a hurry. Stay and know each other for a while," they said. But Phillip did not listen. "You are jealous," he told them. Phillip shunned them and called them bad friends. He even threatened to inform Precious if they bring up the matter again. Phillip's family also warned him too. His mother said, "Phillip, sometimes beauty and big words are not enough. A good woman has a good heart. We know we have been asking you to marry, but we think this one is too sudden. You just introduced her to us, now marriage." "Oh no," she concluded. But Phillip laughed. "Mother, Precious is perfect for me. You will get to know her," he said. 2 months later, Phillip and Precious got married. The wedding was big and colorful. People danced, drums were played, and food was served. Phillip felt proud that he had chosen such a beautiful and educated woman. But everything began to change after the wedding. One morning, Phillip asked Precious to help him fetch a glass of water. She frowned and said, "Do I look like someone who fetches water? I'm not a village woman. Please get up and do that yourself." Phillip was surprised, but he said nothing. Days later, Phillip came home from work feeling tired and hungry. He found Precious sitting in the balcony, painting her nails. "Honey, have you cooked?" Phillip asked. Precious looked at him and said, "You can cook for yourself, can't you?" "I'm busy." Phillip's stomach rumbled with hunger, but he said nothing. Soon, Precious resigned from her work that her boss insulted her from coming late to work. Also, she said, she was tired that the work was stressful for her. She started spending Phillip's money on clothes and trips to different places alone. While Phillip was busy working, Phillip employed a cook and housekeepers because his wife was doing absolute nothing. The worst part, she was disrespectful to Phillip's family and they began to talk. One day, Phillip sat down on a bench outside his house. He put his head in his hands. His friends came to see him. "Phillip, we told you," they said. Phillip looked up and sighed. "What have I done?" They encouraged him to communicate more with Precious and also hold his ground as the man of the house. As the days went by, Precious's behavior grew worse. She would shout at Phillip when he asked her for help. She called his friends low-class people and laughed at his family. The moon shone brightly in the sky, but the light brought Phillip no comfort. He whispered to himself, "I made a mistake, a big mistake." The next morning, Phillip's mother came to see him. She found him sitting quietly on the couch. "My son," she said gently, "not all that glitters is gold." Phillip nodded, tears in his eyes. "You were right, mother," he said. His mother advised him to divorce Precious and look for another woman, since a child is not involved yet. But Phillip refused that he will be mocked. That the marriage is just 6 months. "Anyways, I will threaten her with divorce, let me see if she will change," he said, while his mother nodded her head. Phillip was waiting patiently for his wife Precious, who went for a horse riding with her friends. "Today, I will threaten her with divorce, if she continues like this," he said. Suddenly he received a call that Precious was hospitalized. At first, Phillip thought it was just a minor sickness. But Precious stayed in bed for days, complaining of pain in her stomach. They referred them to another hospital, where the doctor revealed a shocking truth. "It seems your wife has lived a reckless life before now, lots of damages has been detected in her system," the doctor said. "She has been sick for a long time, but it seems she never told you." Phillip's eyes widened. "She didn't tell me," he whispered. The doctor continued, "She will need surgery to fix some. And I hope it works. Else she might die. And there is more, never mind, let's treat it one after the other please," the doctor concluded. Phillip's heart sank. "Surgery? There is more? Oh goodness. What have I put myself into?" Phillip lamented. He had no choice but to pay for her treatment. He used the money he had saved before marriage, hoping it would solve the problem. Yet there was no apology, explanation or appreciation from Precious. Phillip whispered to himself, "What have I done? I married without knowing the truth." After the first surgery, Precious got better for a while. But soon, the pain came back. Phillip took her to the hospital again, and the doctor said another surgery was needed. Philip began to worry. He was spending all his money, and Precious's health was not improving. Within 3 years, Philip paid for 3 surgeries. He lost concentration at work. He was absent from work because he was always in the hospital, caring for Precious. By the 4th year of marriage, Philip sold the land he acquired before the marriage to pay for the 4th surgery. He borrowed money from friends, neighbors, and even strangers. Precious's condition worsened, and Philip's heart grew heavy. The love he once felt was replaced by worry and regret. One evening, as Philip was coming from hospital, he met Kate, one of the women he rejected. Kate saw him first and greeted him. Philip was surprised because of the way she expressed herself and her boldness. "You used to be very shy, and how come you speak fluently?" Philip said. Kate smiled and said, "Shortly after you rejected me, I met another man, a lecturer. After our wedding, he registered me with Lukman Adult Education Program. There I was taught how to read and write. I enrolled for senior secondary certificate." Philip cut in, "Did you pass the exams?" Kate answered yes. "I passed very well. I am presently in 200 level in Lagos State College of Education, Yoba." "What?" Philip was amazed. That moment, Kate's phone rang. Her husband called her to come home immediately that the kids were crying. "I will have to go now, my kids are crying," Kate said. "Oh, you have kids already?" Philip asked. "Yes, I have 4 kids. 2 sets of twins," Kate replied. "See you next time." They waved each other goodbye. 2 days after Philip met Kate, his friends came to visit him and he told them. They said they knew about it, that they didn't feel it was necessary for them to inform him. "We wanted the best for you. We were all married and we knew the importance of having a good wife. We recommended 1 woman each for you. Women we knew and were sure would be good for you, but you refused all of them. The other 2 are married and are doing well too," they concluded. In less than 5 years, Philip had spent all his savings and has borrowed a huge sum of money for 5 surgeries. Yet Precious was still sick, and his job was threatened. Few months later, just when Precious was recovering, Philip lost his job. And everything worsened. Precious became unfaithful in their marriage in order to satisfy her wants, but unknowingly to Philip. Then the news started spreading round. When Philip finally found out, he filed for divorce. "I am even tired of this marriage. You that cannot provide for your family," Precious hissed. 12 years after their painful marriage, Philip and Precious finally divorced. They went their separate ways, carrying the scars of their choices. For Philip, the divorce was a relief, but he was left with nothing. He had no job, no car, and no money. Everything he had worked for was gone. Philip moved to another city to start over. With no job and no savings to build a business, he began driving boats to earn a living. Every day, he drove through the busy streets of Lagos, picking up strangers and dropping them off at their destinations. Sometimes, when the city was quiet, Philip would look at the rearview mirror and think about his past. The regrets came like waves, and he wondered how his life would have been if he had chosen differently. In the evenings, after long hours of driving, Philip sat in a small bungalow he was lucky to build before he married Precious. A house that was not fully renovated, that he could not complete in 12 years. He managed to maintain a room that he could rest his head. He ate simple meals and stared at the ceiling, dreaming of the days when his life was booming and beautiful. I am alive and healthy, his heart was hopeful. It is never too late to start again, he told himself quietly. I will rise once more. And so, Philip's journey of rebuilding his life began, one drive, one day, and one hope at a time. A new search begins. After 4 years of living alone, Philip decided to try another relationship. I am close to 50. No wife, no child. Let me try my luck again, he said. This time, he vowed to marry a devoted wife from the church. I need a good woman who fears God, Philip told himself. He joined a well-known church in the city and began attending every service. But deep down, Philip's true purpose was to find a devoted wife. One Sunday, he noticed a young woman named Mary. She dressed modestly, always wore long dresses, and carried a Bible wherever she went. Philip thought, this is the one. He approached Mary. Sister Mary, he called. Mary answered and said, how did you know my name? Philip laughed. Who doesn't know you in this church? They both laughed. Philip told Mary his intentions and Mary promised to pray about it. 1 month later, Mary accepted Philip's proposal and they began courting. At first, Philip discovered that Mary was not doing anything. He asked her, when she couldn't go to school, why did she not learn a skill? But Mary lied to him that he used to have a shop. But tragedy happened and she lost everything. That presently, it's the church that is taking care of her. Philip felt bad. From that day on, Philip placed her on a daily wages of 3,000 naira. At least it will settle her daily bread. Philip continued for 3 months, so he asked Mary to think of small business she can set up for her at the moment, instead of her to be idle. But Mary promised to get back to him, but she never did. 1 month later, Philip came up with an idea. You can start food business in a cubicle at junction of this street. I will talk to the street chairman, Philip suggested. When I have enough money, I will open a better shop for you. Mary accepted. Philip spoke with the street chairman. He was asked to pay certain amount. He paid immediately. Philip bought the big umbrella, the cubicle, the pot and all the necessary things she needed for a start. One Friday evening, after work, Philip gave Mary 100,000 naira to start the food business. She thanked Philip. I will go to market tomorrow and buy the foodstuffs. On Monday, I will start cooking, Mary said. She was so happy. I have tasted your food, you cook so well. I pray you succeed. Philip encouraged her. That fateful Monday, Philip drove past Mary's supposed shop and he was surprised that Mary did not open. What could have happened? Immediately he called Mary. Mary did not pick his calls. Rather, she texted Philip that she was in a church program. Later that day, she messaged Philip, telling him that she can no longer sell food at the street junction because people will laugh and mock her. Philip was shocked. Philip tried to persuade, telling her she got no business with the people's reactions, but Mary has made up her mind already. Philip let it go. A week later, Philip mistakenly saw her identity card. And he discovered that Mary lied about her age. Mary was 42 years old and she lied to Philip that she was 32 years old. Mary apologized to Philip. Age is just a number, you shouldn't have lied, Philip said. Again, he let that go. 1 month later, Philip, already saving money to rent a better shop for Mary, mistakenly saw Mary's archive message. In the message, Mary's younger sister asked her to come to the village immediately that her son was ill. So Mary has a son and she didn't tell me all this while. Philip screamed. Philip confronted Mary. Mary admitted having 2 kids. Philip screamed, "And you never told me." Mary got upset. "Did you ask?" She said. "I don't have problem with you having kids. The lies and the unseriousness are the things I can't cope with anymore." That day, Philip ended the relationship immediately. That night, Philip thanked God for saving him from Mary. "Who knows, she is even worse than Precious," he said. "Who knows, maybe I am not destined to marry." He vowed to stay alone forever. One day, he was driving a beautiful lady to destination. The girl complained that he was too quiet, and he apologized politely. From there, one talk led to another, and the lady narrated her life history to Philip. "With all the horrible and toxic relationships I have experienced, now I have come into conclusion that I am not destined to marry," she concluded. Philip consoled her and asked her to give love a second chance, but she laughed and said no. All men are the same. They got to her destination and they waved goodbye. Philip was so tired, so he went home to rest. The next day, as he was cleaning his car, preparing for the day's work, he saw a transparent bag. "This must be my last passenger's bag." Immediately, without opening the bag, he traced her phone number and called her. Immediately the lady screamed. She quickly came to Philip's house to pick the bag. "You saved my life and my job. Anytime I talk about my past relationships, I lost control of myself. In here are documents of a contract of 500 billion naira sealed. I am the team leader for the project, that is why I am in possession of it. I thought the file was inside the big bag I carried yesterday. Thank you so much," the lady said. 2 weeks later, one Sunday morning, Philip had a knock on her door. He asked, "Who is that?" "Peace." "Who is Peace?" The lady returned her bag. She said. Philip jumped to the door, stammering, "Anything." Peace smiled. "I came to invite you to my church. Please don't say no." "Okay." Philip took his bath, got ready in a quickly. "I am set," he said. "Please, we will need to walk down the street to take a public transport. The car I use for both is not mine, and I don't have access to it on Sundays," Philip explained. "Don't worry, I came with a car," Peace said. After church service, Peace and Philip went for drink. Their friendship began. One day, during one of their visits, Philip opened up and told Peace about his past. "I thought I have given up on love, but I don't know why I'm so attached to you. The more I try to move away from you, the closer I become. I know you've given up on love, but please try me. Give me a chance to prove to you that I am different. All men are not the same. The way men break women's heart is the way you ladies break our heart too. Just look at mine now," Philip said. How did you know I am not like the others?" Peace asked. "My instinct. My heart. I have never used these two before. I have used appearances, I have used beauty and class. Now, I am using my instinct and my heart." Peace smiled. "I have loved you the very day I saw you. I tried to fight it because I felt I was foolish and cheap. until it got to the point that I couldn't control myself any longer. They smiled and a beautiful love story began. 1 year later, without Philip's knowledge, Peace has secured a good job for him with his father's connections and influence. On Philip's 50th birthday, same day, being Peace's 40th birthday, Philip has planned a room engagement party for Peace. When she arrived, Philip proposed to her and she gladly said yes. Then Peace also gave Philip the new job offer letter. Philip couldn't believe his eyes. He cried bitterly and he blessed the day he met Peace, and also promising her that she will never know pain again with him. Philip resumed work immediately. He was given a new apartment and a car. Few months later, they got married in the presence of their friends and family. On their 5th marriage anniversary, Philip took Peace and their 2 children on vacation in Dubai. For few minutes, he couldn't stop staring at Peace. "Why are you staring at me?" Peace asked. "Until today, I was not convinced that you are who you are. Many times, I thought you were pretending. I am sorry to say. It's not that I didn't trust you, but it was too beautiful to be real," Philip concluded. "I felt the same thing too, honey. I even told my parents on our 3rd wedding anniversary. You know what they told me?" "No," Philip answered. "When you find the right person, it looks and feels like magic. Sometimes, it looks as if you are dreaming. Rest, rest, my child. God has wept your tears and has restored your wasted years with diamond in human form." Philip smiled and said, "You are the diamond." "No, you are the diamond," Peace argued. They both played around while the kids laughed out loud. The end. Indeed, when you find the right person, at first, it looks and feels like magic. Please like, comment and share. Subscribe for more videos. Thank you.